I just love to create. I love to inspire. Terrence Howard is a very popular actor. He's been in a lot of big things, but the one most people know him for is his role in Iron Man. He got replaced by Don Cheadle because Terrence said he was really unhappy that he wasn't making as much money as Robert Downey Jr. And there's so much to go in here. This is an onion with many layers. Terrence Howard also believes that he has discovered and created his own logic language, which he calls Terryology. He has spent the better part of, I think, about 7 or 8 years, trying to mathematically prove that 1 times 1 equals 2, and that 0 doesn't exist. Didn't he say people watched Iron Man because of him? Yeah, he credits Iron Man's success to his role. Yeah, this is the 1 times 1 equals 2 guy. But that's, I always knew about that shit, but I didn't know that wasn't the end of it. So I was reading some of the comments here and getting as much information. I'm going to show you the scam that he's trying to run right now in a minute. But I was reading so much about him and like going through this rabbit hole. And this is from one of his books, apparently. I haven't read the whole book, but I'm assuming it's an excerpt because it has to go with his idea that 0 isn't real. So, where is it? Here. I made that statement, there's no such thing as 0. He looked at me with a puzzled look upon his face, and the professor said, let's say you had an apple, and I had an apple, and you gave me your apple. How many apples do you have? I said, I have 2 apples. He said, you don't understand, you gave me your apple. I said, no, you don't understand. Actual, I'm 14 and this is deep shit. As long as you are still inside this universe, whatever you have, I have. Because everything in this universe is connected to everything else. Even if you could take my apple and place it into an adjacent universe, I would still have 2 apples because as long as the universe is touching this universe, then everything in that universe is still connected to and influenced by every single atom in this universe. Therefore, my giving you my apple is paramount to me transferring my apple from my left to my right hand because all things are one. So using his own logic language here, he should have no right to be whining about not getting paid as much as Robert Downey Jr. because basically Robert Downey Jr.'s money is his money. That's the argument he makes here. The man is a walking contradiction of his own dog shit logic. Okay, but that was years ago. What? No, he still does this. What? Look, this is from 2 days ago.
Was there for 2 years until I saw that there was an inconsistency
with the math.
There.
Yep.
And so I went out to explore
1 times 1 equals 2
of understanding how the universe works, and I was able to define the grand unified field equation they've been looking for and put it into geometry. And then with that geometry, I was able to
he's done it
on that. And what I'm saying is now we have invented a new form of flight that I would like to bring here to Uganda to replace the drones, to replace the helicopters, to replace the planes in which to build this. Now, this is the geometry of hydrogen. Of hydrogen. This is the proton itself. So any bond that hydrogen can make,
goddamn right,
lynchpins are able to make. So we're talking about unlimited bonding, unlimited predictable
it's like an anime.
Structure, supersymmetry. And
so many buzzwords.
Lynchpins are now able to behave as a swarm, as a colony that can defend a nation, that can harvest food, that can remove plastics from the ocean, that
can do anything. Can fuck your own wife.
Uganda, and the people of Uganda an opportunity without having to have our young men lose their lives.
All thanks to the hydrogen lynchpin bonding geometry that he was able to discover. See, I don't know what you're talking about, but that was years ago. He still believes this and does this actively. This was 3 days ago at a conference, trying to sell them on a scam. And this was back when I first found him. He published a paper on 1 times 1 equals 2. And he posted it on Twitter to get laughed at. Oh, another really interesting thing. This one's more sad than interesting, honestly. Terrence Howard, when he was a child, witnessed his dad stab a guy to death at a mall during a Santa Claus showing. They called it the Santa line slaying. I had no idea, but I learned this yesterday. When Terrence Howard was a child, him and his father were in line to sit on Santa's lap, and his dad got into an altercation with another guy. I think his name was Jack Fitzpatrick. They started arguing. Jack Fitzpatrick eventually pushed Terrence Howard's dad against a wall, and then they got broken up, and then Terrence's dad got some sharp object. No one knows whether it was a knife or if someone gave him something or whatever, because there was apparently a story about how a bystander gave him a nail filer to fight back, and he took the sharp object and stabbed him a lot, and he died. And it's called the Santa Line Slaying. And Terrence Howard is so shameless that he went on Oprah's show and told a complete fabrication of the events that happened, so much so that Terrence Howard's own dad came out and basically just called him a lying clout chaser. Why would you stab someone who you just met? You make it sound like it was at Thanksgiving or something. They got into an argument, and apparently both parties were at fault. They both got rowdy, but Terrence Howard's dad took it much further than the other guy, clearly, and stabbed him to death. All over cutting in line during a Santa Claus event at a mall. Oh, this is also a really cool quote that people always give thanks for. If 1 times 1 equals 1, that means that 2 is of no value because 1 times itself has no effect. 1 times 1 equals 2 because the square root of 4 is 2. So what's the square root of 2? Should be 1. But we're told it's 2, and that cannot be. Fucking poetry, man. That's so deep. This man is traveling through dimensions with this advanced mathematics. That paragraph would fool 60% of Americans into thinking it's accurate. No, you're actually wrong. So, and I understand, like, Americans super dumb, and I've been on Twitter, so I think everyone's kind of fucking dumb to some level. But even Terryology, nobody besides Terry believes in. So Terrence Howard, like I said, has spent the better part of like 7 years trying to prove his logic language, 1 times 1 equals 2, 0 doesn't exist, all these things. And it's called Terryology. And I believe he even patented it. Nobody, not even his most brainwashed fans, believe in it. They still laugh at him for it, to this day. I really want to find the tweet, though, because in his own paper that he published to prove 1 times 1 equals 2, he put in an entire section of fan fiction about the sky people, the Anunnaki that once indoctrinated us into believing 1 times 1 equals 1, or something, whatever the fuck it was. I need to find that tweet. It was somewhere in these comments. So this is his paper on 1 times 1 equals 2. And in this section right here, he starts talking about the Anunnaki sky people in his own, like, actual published paper to try and debunk incorrect mathematics. Some call them the Anunnaki, the sky people, whomever they were that gave that naive generation some 6,000 years ago a multiplication table and a flat view of universal geometry. They gave that poor misguided people a false axiom upon which to build their world. A false axiom that would behave almost as a bumper for our infantile-like species. A tutor, as it were. A false axiom that would allow for a measure of growth and productivity for that civilization, but would inevitably lead to failure and its inevitable collapse. Unfortunately, the later generations would eventually come to inherit this once thriving Mediterranean metropolis that includes, and not so lucky, entire world. Now for the last 5,000 or plus years, our ancestors enslaved our thinking with that dogma for generations upon generations, leading down to our great-grandparents, and who, in like manner, indoctrinated their children, who in turn would help the newly formed system called tradition to propagate this false truth to the rest of the world. This is a paper he published to try and prove 1 times 1 equals 2. And that is in the paper. Holy fuck, this guy is based. I'm a Terryologist now. Hey, man. Nothing but respect to all the Terryologists out there. He says that 0 doesn't exist. I know. I was just talking about that. He believes that 0 can't exist because all of our universes touch each other, so everything is 1. Which again, this ties into the idea. If Terrence really believes that, why not just give away all of his money? Because it'd still be his money. He'd still have his money by his own logic. Just give it to everyone who commented on this Twitter post. Give it to the Terryologists. 100% this is because of a bad acid trip. It's super possible, but I actually think it's probably rooted in something much sadder. Like I mentioned, he watched his dad murder a man in line for Santa Claus. Like, that's a traumatizing thing. I think from the get-go, this guy was just kind of fucked. Hashtag proof? Was that to me? It's a very well documented thing here. It's called the Santa line slang. Happened in 1971, I think. Yeah, 1971. Jack Fitzpatrick, and I believe his dad's name is Tyrone Howard. Yeah, Tyrone Howard. That's a cool origin story. Yeah, I don't know about cool necessarily, but it actually does sound like an origin story out of a comic book. And then he just recently made that statement in Uganda, which actually does sound like a supervillain giving away his plan about how he solved the universal, whatever, grand levitation equation or some shit, and how he's using hydrogen bonds for unlimited power, and it'll be a drone, it'll be a plane, it'll clean plastics from the ocean. Oh yeah, the hydrogen proton. Right. I like his math. I'm pretty sure this doubles my money. Well, it's not your money to begin with, it's Terrence's money. It's all of our money. Read the book on stream and convert the check to Terryology. Well, the book isn't like... As I understand it, the book is shit like this, where he starts talking about the Anunnaki sky people, and then just throwing formulas all over the place, but getting all of the formulas wrong. Like, endlessly wrong. So it's not exactly like a book to be read. It's more of like a look into lunacy. Like, written out. Maybe Terry was right. Can you imagine? Imagine 50 years from now, it turns out all of our math was wrong, and they look at Terrence Howard as like a prophet. They look at him as like a genius that wasn't appreciated during his time for his work on 1 × 1 = 2 and 0 not being real. Just fucking imagine that universe. In 500 years, we'll have a Terrence statue outside the MIT building. Well, by then we'll already have mastered the, the hydrogen proton technology. So we will have flying buildings by then. We won't even use statues. It'll be like hydrogen molds. I actually remember he went on... Was it Good Morning Today? Or it might have been The View. I think it was The View, to talk about Terryology.
Okay. Now, a couple years ago, I did an article for the Rolling Stones, and they said I was crazy because I was telling them that the square root of 2 was a rational number. This is the proof that the square root of 2 is a rational number.
You went to Oxford to present.
Now I see it.
About the point where 4 bubbles meet equally and oppositely. Yes, and it's where 12 planes meet. This is an undiscovered geometry that I'm now making known to the world here on the show.
Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah! I love that geometry.
So upset, our entire world economy is based on 1 × 1 = 1. So if you can prove that an action times an action equals a reaction, which science proves, then 1 × 1 must equal more than 1. And to have the physical proof of it, that kind of shakes things up.
Well, you're a shaker-upper. Was that the Oxford?
I think The View, and like maybe just talk shows in general, are one of the most detrimental things to the American household that we've ever had. Second only to like Twitter and shit, I would say. It just platforms absolute insanity. It's wild. Like, it's baffling. They don't even bother to even, like, ask the most general questions like, well, how? Can you prove it? Are you sure? Really? They're just constantly sucking dick all the time for whatever guest they bring on. Blows my mind.
So, here's my question for you, because we were talking about immigration before on the panel. And I'm a child of Italian-American grandparents. Well, my mother was born here.
Okay, well, I guess we're done with Terryology. They steered that topic away real quick. Tony Stark himself taught Terry that 1 × 1 = 2. Yeah, he should really credit Tony Stark somewhere in this paper, but I don't think he does. No respect. It's just such a fascinating rabbit hole. I implore anyone who likes wild, wacky shit to look into Terryology. I do believe it is patented. Let me double check. You gotta watch the Neil deGrasse Tyson response to Terrence Howard.
So this is Terrence Howard attempting to reinvent mathematics and physics. A little back
Successfully, too, by the way.
Initial interest in Terrence
Let's see what the comments are saying now. Because when this initially came out, all the comments were like, man, Terrence Howard is a fucking genius. Man, Terrence Howard really gets it. I didn't realize he was so intelligent. Meanwhile, he's actually just talking about gobbledygook. 1 times 1 equals 2. I've reinvented sacred geometry with a hydrogen proton. Selling drones to Uganda based on the hydrogen proton geometry, which the drones don't exist. Okay. Now the comments have flipped. They turned on him. I still remember the day, well actually the 3 or 4 days after this episode came out, people were like, man, Terrence Howard is so fucking smart. Look at what he said and look at what he did. And all the comments were on his side and shit about like, damn, so deep. I knew we couldn't trust math. But Charlie, he invented virtual reality. Check out his patent. Oh, I know. Not only did he invent virtual reality, he invented the very fucking dimension in which we inhabit while he was still in his mother's womb. Did you know he has memories from the womb? I know. He's just built so different. Would you debate Terrence Howard on his math? Sure. I feel like anyone would be more than willing to. But I also feel like if someone's going to debate Terrence Howard, it shouldn't be me. Because that would immediately bring Terrence Howard, that was supposed to be the guy reinventing math, down to the level of just a fucking goober streamer content creator. That's who I'll debate, that guy. I'll display my math prowess against that guy. No, not actual mathematicians, please, God, no. But I'd be more than willing to. It is completely indefensible with 1 times 1 equals 2. The only way he gets away with that is by spamming buzzwords that actual Neanderthals think mean something. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter what, you can never show that 1 times 1 equals 2. But you can always show that 1 times 1 equals 1. It's the easiest demonstration ever. And the only way Terrence Howard weasels his way out of it every time is just with nonsense quantum buzzwords. If you debated him, you should just out-buzzword him. Oh, I'd be dropping so many buzzwords on him just to like throw him in like some kind of fucking stun lock. Mr. Howard, please stop bloviating. It's like you haven't even considered the Bose-Einstein paradox. As of course you know, this is elementary. And he'd be like, Bose-Einstein? It's boson! Action Bronson believes in Terrence Howard. Oh my god. Wait, is it a joke?
What in the actual fuck?
First of all,
I understand it though.
I kind of understand.
I understand it. I understand.
I mean, it made sense.
To me, he's making
sense.
me believe.
He's way too smart to just be making everything up. Like there's no way he just make
this fucking genius. You can't just make up 1 times 1 equals 2. That's... That... You can't do it. That's... inconceivable.
He's a lunatic. Like I've heard
can't
people
just
say,
lie. You can't just come up on that.
He's making things. I'm like, I don't think that's correct. He knows too much. So he's...
I like how Joe Rogan immediately believes that Terrence Howard remembers being in his mother's womb and waving at his hand. He named his hand in his mom's womb before he had any concept of words or anything. In pitch darkness, he named his fucking hand and called it his friend in his mom's womb. He knows so much.
Terrence Howard has to sit down with someone who's an academic, someone who's got a PhD.
Like Joe Rogan or Action Bronson.
And they can have a discussion, and you can see what he really knows and just what he can say to me, right? To me, it all makes sense, but I'm a moron.
No, you're not.
Super true. Super true.
Physicist, someone who actually can understand what these computations mean and what he's trying to say about 1.
Oh, you're asking hard questions, OMG.
By 1.
That's multiplication now.
No
It's scary.
mathematics. Everything is bullshit. I believe that.
Brother, what you're talking into is the result of mathematics, Action Bronson. It's all bullshit. Math's not real.
I wasn't good in algebra.
Shit.
I see it more in a linear way, not a linear way, a different way than him. Like more similarly to him.
Right. Well, I would imagine
wrong
that
then.
There's probably more to all these things.
Those fucking toys he made, the figures.
Even our mathematics. Like, as brilliant as the people are.
I've never actually listened to Action Bronson speak or anything. Is this guy just actually a fucking imbecile? Or is this a joke? Is he playing a character? I'm getting half chat saying he's trolling and the other half are saying no, he's actually just really fucking dumb. I just don't know enough about Action Bronson as a person.
Yeah, he's a great actor, but it's just because he's so smart. And then he's talking about how the periodic table's all fucked up, and this is what's you're like. Wait a minute. What are you doing? How can you do this?
I understand.
How can you do this? Joe Rogan, I'll do it right now. Periodic table's wrong. I did it. That's how he does it. That's the secret. That's how. This is unbelievable. I don't know enough about Action Bronson to know whether or not he's being genuine here or if he's just playing like the buffoon. But Joe Rogan is so hook, line, and sinker on like the actual fucking stupid pill here. It's crazy. Or Terrence could be the greatest con man. To a certain extent, he's trying his best to scam Uganda with his hydrogen proton new geometry drones that'll protect Uganda and improve their agriculture, which don't exist and never will exist. The fucking hydrogen proton geometry drones. So he's scamming in that regard. But other than that, he's just being a fucking moron on the biggest stage ever. And that's about it.
I feel what he's saying.
He's a membership, Harrison.
Like, stop trying to uncover shit. Just all these little micro fucking bullshits.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I'm a fucking idiot. I'm trying to regurgitate what I heard. Like, as far as all the elements in between.
Yeah.
Like, why are they there? When they're just...
You and
know
I
what
will
I'm talking?
never explain this in a way that's not hugely frustrating to anybody who really knows it.
It's not even frustrating. It's just kind of sad. It's just like actually kind of sad. Like it's hard to even be frustrated. It's just sad. Like it's just legitimately sad. Listening to this guy fucking fumble through like he had peanut butter in his mouth about the elements in between and the micros and then openly admit like he's just trying to regurgitate something that he heard. It's just sad. It's not even frustrating. I don't know, man. I guess one thing I don't understand. So both of them are very open about being stupid. So Action Bronson's like, I'm an idiot. So I'm just trying to repeat what I heard once. Why wouldn't you just repeat the thing that you've heard that actually has results? So the math that you've heard, 1 × 1 = 1. Why wouldn't that be what you repeat? When you are literally the product of that math. You would have died way before you hit this age if math was never to this level. You would have died of some kind of infection. You would have died trying to like finger your butt in the wrong part of the jungle and got eaten alive. You wouldn't have made it without math. So why wouldn't you be regurgitating that math that is keeping you alive and allowing you to have a career? I don't get it. I don't know why they would gravitate towards actually this math that has nothing to show for it, not a single invention, not a single basis in reality, not a single physical thing to show for it. That's the one I'm going to repeat. I just don't get it. I don't know how you gravitate to that. The least obvious psyop. Do you think? I don't know. I don't know if it's a psyop or not. It's like I know that word gets tossed around like so many other buzzwords, but there is a chance. Like I do think in this case there is a chance to keep people stupid because it is legitimately just easier to control stupid people, 100%. So if you just have people like Action Bronson, Joe Rogan, Terrence Howard being like 1 × 1 = 2, don't trust math, and here's the hydrogen proton geometry, also zero's not real. Like if you have people start believing in that, they become so much easier to control. So it could be a psyop. But I also think it's just equally likely that these dumb fucking people just really love the idea of feeling special and smart, so they just latch onto it.
I don't even remember what I'm trying to say, but you know.
Yeah. The way he was explaining how everything's connected.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the entire, the whole scale of it. And the way he was showing it like in geometric pattern. And when you look at it like the way he was describing it, you're like, oh, wow, that kind of makes more sense. It does make sense. That's it. I mean, it just looks beautiful. Oh, shit.
Dope.
I need to know this.
Okay, here. Then I know what we need to do. I've figured it out. I see. How about we start making math and science super fucking hype? So instead of this lame-ass picture here, put it on a pair of titties. I guarantee Joe Rogan and Action Bronson's fucking eyes would pop out of their skull like a Tom and Jerry cartoon going awooga if they saw real math and science, but it was on like boobies. Maybe that's all we need. The math gave me a boner, so it must be true. I think we're onto something. I actually think we're onto something. I think that could be the key. That's what we've been missing this whole time.
Yeah, but
it revealed the yin yang.
it's quantum intent.
Action Bronson, what does the yin yang mean to you? What do you think that it revealed the yin yang? What do you think those words mean? Make sure to smash that like button and thumbs up, ring the bell, tell your mom I said hi. Yeah, that's about it. See ya.